Kia ora, in today's video I'll teach you how to upcycle a pair of your old socks into a kitten. What you'll need is one long sock or a pair of ankle socks, scissors, 2 buttons for eyes, wool for whiskers, thread, a needle and stuffing. First you want to start by flipping your socks inside out and lying it flat. Do this to both socks if you're using 2. Then you want to grab a marker and mark the shape of your cat ears and the size of your cat head with dots. Then if you have ankle socks, you want to draw the arms and legs on the second pair. Be sure to keep enough fabric left over for the tail. We are going to sew on the lines that we have marked. You want to measure out an arm's length of thread and feed it through the eye of the needle and tie a double knot. First you want to feed the needle through the fabric, then back through the thread to make sure it's secure in place and you don't have to worry about the thread slipping through the stretchy fabric. We'll be doing a running stitch along the line we have drawn, starting with the ears, then leaving the bottom of the head unstitched so we can add stuffing later. Once you've reached the end, put your needle in halfway and wrap thread around the needle 2 to 3 times before pulling it tight to make a knot. Repeat steps again, measure out your thread and sew one side of the body completely. And secure with a knot. Then on the other side you only want to sew the leg, leaving that middle line as your stuffing opening. Once you're finished sewing, we want to cut around the parts that you've sewn and not on the line. Now we want to flip the head and body right sides out. Then cut your stuffing into little cubes and gently stuff the arms and legs, body and head. We want to close the head by doing a 1 layer running stitch around the bottom of the head, so when we pull tight, the fabric will gather and the opening will close. Then wrap the thread around a few times before tying a secure knot. Be careful when trimming the excess fabric, you don't want to cut the thread you've just sewn. Now it's time to add the eyes to the kitten. You want to mark where you want to sew the buttons and secure the thread to the head. Then feed your needle through the holes of your button and repeat a couple of times going through the fabric. Then you want to pull the needle out from the bottom of the head and tie a secure knot. Repeat with the second eye. Next, we'll close up the body opening with an invisible stitch, also known as a ladder stitch. First, you want to make sure that your thread is secure at the beginning of your stitch and attached to a layer of one of the legs. Then you want to cross over and do 1 stitch along the edge of your sock. Cross over and do another stitch along the other layer and keep crossing over until a ladder forms. When you reach the end of your invisible stitch, you want to pull the thread tight and the opening will close. Your fabric will bundle a little, just stretch it back out and release the tension of your thread. Finish off your sewing with a secure knot. Now we want to attach the head to the body and sew the head and body together using the invisible stitch method. Making 1 stitch around the bottom of the head, then a stitch to the body, and repeat until you go all the way around and pull tight to make your head look neatly attached to the body. Finish off with a secure knot. Using the scrap fabric from the sock, I marked a line for the tail and sewed along the line, leaving a little gap at the end so we can flip it inside out, and finish the rest of the tail with an invisible stitch. Then I cut off the excess. I also attached the tail with an invisible stitch. The last step was adding the whiskers using wool. You want to cut up 3 even lengths of wool and add an extra piece that we'll use to tie the 3 pieces together using a double knot. Then trim the excess wool off. You want to sew the whiskers on like you did with the buttons, going through the fabric and wool a couple of times and finishing off with a secure knot. And there we have it, a cute kitten sock plushie. If you want to do a bunny, you can do the exact same steps except switch out the cat ears for bunny ears instead. I hope you have fun trying this sewing activity out. See you in the next video.